But now we can get to the big fight we wanted to, Canelo and Plant. So what's up? Who want to go first?
Well, I'll go first. I think, you got a lot of people riding behind Plant. I mean, Benavidez and Plant, they got beef. So, I don't really buy into what Benavidez is saying about Plant. Whatever reason, they don't like each other. And, it's been videos out there that they didn't like each other. However, when you got somebody like an Andre Ward backing you and saying that, you have a possibility to win. And I did like what Plant had to say. He said, listen, at this level, everybody hits hard. Everybody hits hard at this level. So if Plant stays elusive and he studies the Mayweather print on how to beat Canelo, I think Plant comes out victorious. I mean, but if I was a betting man, I would bet on Canelo. Just because of the history. I mean, the last time I thought Saunders was going to get here, give him a great show and didn't. And so, I want Plant to win, but, at this time, how Jimmy said, I got to go with what I know best. I'm going to go with Canelo to win, but I go with Plant to make it a difficult challenge. I want Plant to win, but I know Canelo will take the victory, if that makes sense.
What you think, Coach?
I don't know, man, because I just don't like Canelo. I just don't like him. So on this one, I already know I'm gonna go against him. But in actuality, I got him beating. I got him beating Plant. I got him beating Plant.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I do think it's gonna be interesting. Plant is naturally bigger than Canelo. I think his style, he'll give Canelo problems early, but I don't know what round. I just want to see. I hope Plant takes enough early rounds to the point where once Canelo wakes up, he has a lead. Because if he does, then I'm curious to see, all right, how's he going to show up in the second half?
Well, in that perspective, if Canelo does take it to the dentist, and let's say Plant is ahead on the scorecards, they still won't get a fight to Canelo.
Yeah, so that's why I said
they still won't give the fight to Canelo.
He has to try to take as much of the early rounds as he can. He can't get overconfident no matter what happens in the early round. He got to, round by round, he got to really try to not take Canelo head up, but he got to try to take a big lead early. Because once Canelo wakes up,
yeah,
that's what I'm really interested to see the second half of the fight.
Well, truth be told, I think Plant is going to have to just press the gas, and I think Plant is going to have to pressure and push. And like I said, if it goes to the distance, I think that Plant will still lose the fight because I think the judges are going to give it to him, which will force them to get a rematch in the odds because the fans. Let's say it would be like a Floyd Mandana situation. You know how Floyd didn't look all that great against Mandana in that first fight. So he said, hey, the fans said I didn't look good, so I'm going to run it back anyway. Let's see if Canelo does that now. Let's see if Canelo does that.
Do you think this fight goes 12 rounds?
I think if Plant is smart, it'll go 12 rounds.
If I had to put money on it, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've been thinking about this for a while, and for the longest time, I was saying decision. I'm starting to lean towards the TKO, a late one.
Yeah. So my man says Plant has to put on a Mayweather performance. He said even if he has a chance, that it'll go to the scorecards. He definitely, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Plant is really, because he's smart and he's elusive, I think he will, and I think they've been training for that Mayweather type of fight, meaning like him to go in there, stick and move, and use everything he have in his attributes to win the fight. I couldn't see him not doing it. This is like, when you practice all week for a game, And coach says, all right, this is when we got to use everything in our power to win the championship. We got to use our press breaker. We got to use our defensive press. We got to use our weapons, our sharpshooters, and we got to go on the bench and bring those out. He got to bring everything to this fight. He can't take a day off and think that he's going to beat the best fighter in the world.
And even with his comment, he said plans to put on a Mayweather type performance. He's right, no, but the thing is, Mayweather, even with the performance he got a majority decision. And Mayweather is a bigger name than Canelo. Canelo wasn't even as big as he is now. So even if Plant does put on that performance, he needs some knockdowns added with it. I just don't see it.
But let me just say this, Plant goes the distance. Plant looks good in the eyes of the fans. Meaning, like, we watched the fight. We clearly know he won the fight. He still has a moral victory. It doesn't, for me, I would take that moral. I'll take that moral victory to say, you know what, I took you into deep waters, and now the fans will demand Canelo to fight him again. And then decisively saying, well, Canelo, you didn't look all that great. You know? I mean, I already had to eat crow with Canelo, with Billy Joe Saunders, especially after he cheered the crowd on and gave him the Matador performance. It was like, wow, I can't even believe. Not only did he beat Saunders, but he cheered the crowd on like, y'all want more? You want more? I'll give you more. And beat him up some more. And it was like, wow. And that's why I couldn't say anything, but I had to go on every platform and I had to say Canelo's the man. And I had to do that because, you know, I was just talking too much smack. I was saying he was avoiding this, avoiding that. I think it's going to be all business for Canelo, and I think this is something that's going to really awaken this side of Canelo that we are really ready for.
I see a lot of people. I'm glad you brought up Saunders. I see a lot of people comparing it to the Saunders fight. I don't see that. I think Canelo. I mean, not Canelo. I think Plant he's bigger than Saunders. He's faster than Saunders. I think he's stronger than Saunders. I think he's going to want it more than Saunders. I don't think Saunders was in it to lay down, but when shit got tough, you see Saunders was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't see Plant doing that.
No, he listen, one thing I could say from even watching some of them videos, fighting a dude with a knife, and the dude coming at him, he's still chipping him up, showed me like, yo, this kid is different. You know, and you don't even know that's Caleb Plant when you watching it. Oh, then you go back and look at it, realize, yo, that is Caleb Plant. So this kid has been groomed to do what he's doing. I mean, I don't think you fighting your way out of the poverty. You get to this stage and you don't pull a trigger. You don't come ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you do, then you do a disservice to yourself. We all as fighters have either dreamt to be on a championship plateau or fighting for a belt to get in the finals and to lose. What does that say about yourself? Not necessarily competing. Competing, getting past everybody, you worked hard. Now you're in the finals, you're in the championship. And now it's all on the line. And now here it is, you in that moment and you lay down or you don't come to fight, then you did a disservice to yourself in all the years that you trained.
I want to know how much work is on. First of all, I don't know how much Ward helped Plant. I know he was in his gym that one day for training. But I don't know, was he there consistently? How often was he there? So I want to know how much of that will it really help Plant, if it does at all?
I think when Ward came into camp, Plant gave him Ward gave him the ins and outs of just how to bully a guy. You're a bigger guy. You know, he spoke life into Caleb Plant. You a bigger guy. You're gonna come in there. You gotta rough him up. You can't make this fight easy. This is a championship fight. Like on a break, you know, if you putting your elbow on him, make sure you lean the elbow on him. You're gonna put a glove on him. Make sure you push it in his face. Don't just be putting a glove on his chest. Push it in his face. You know, assuring, like, that's what I do. When I see guys, they touching the bag like this, I'm like, yo, if you're going to touch the bag, Is that supposed to be you extending the jab? If you're going to extend the jab, why you extending it to my chest? Why you ain't extending it, holding on, putting that jab in my face, blinding me with it? These are the types of things that I think Andre Ward would add into the value. When you see Ward for Kovalev, he fought Dawson. I mean, on breaks, you see him clinch with the one hand and punch. I mean, hey, Ward, if anybody knows how to cleanly fight dirty, I always say that Andre Ward is a clean, dirty fighter. And everybody like, what you mean? I'm like, man, listen, if he got you by that arm, that one arm, he punching you hard with the other one. He ain't going to just let you go and be holding on to you. He going to let some stuff go. So that's what I think that he's telling Caleb in the corner. Or when he did go up there to the camp, if he went up there and did anything, I think that's what he added when he was talking to Caleb, when he went up there that one day. You know, it's like, you know, me and Norfolk, we talking, you know, coach, if I'm talking to another coach and I'm giving they guys some sound advice and they sparring, I'm like, yo, man, you know, I'm going to give them some sound advice. I'm going to give them, like, I let kids know all the time, yo, let the ref, if you got one hand loose, you got to punch to get out. There's certain things you got to do. You can't just let the fight go and then or think the ref is going to say, nah, if the ref don't say break, you banging, you doing what you got to do. And I think that's one of them things that Caleb Plant is definitely going to have to do to win this fight.
I want to know, because even Canelo said himself, he said he think Plant will come out strong in the early rounds. So I think even he knows Plant might bank some of them early rounds in. I wonder what round is it we see Canelo, I'm not going to say second win, because I think he really going to be just seeing what Plant is doing to adjust to it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what round is he going, like, okay, it's time to step on the gas now.
A smart man will do it around 3 or 4. But a guy like Canelo that think he better not do a Lomachenko, where he think around round 5, he going to try to catch in, because we all know you don't just turn on gears and then you warm up. You warm up. So you seeing what the guy got, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, about 4, you guys start saying, all right, let me warm up. 4, you make it close. About 5 is when judges see, okay, Canelo won that round. 6, oh, okay, Canelo's dominating. But then you get 7, 8, where the rounds go either way. Plant is still doing what he's doing, moving around. Now we got a close fight. 9 and 10, Canelo deep water rounds. Boom, now he's in there. So if we get one of them, we may get a split decision. And then what we gonna say? We're gonna say, man, Canelo didn't do that. Nah, he just waited too late. He did a Lomachenko against Lopez. You can't do that. You can't do that in this fight. This fight, you can't do that against Plant. Can't give him too much confidence, because Plant, one thing, if you ever watch them fight in the later rounds, when you see him starting to move around and get it comfortable, and he starts to get more elusive, he starts to put on more of a show, and then he rallies the crowd. He one of those fighters you can't do that against. Canelo has to be on his A game tonight.
So Canelo or Plant?
No, Canelo has to be on his A game. Canelo can't let that fight go in. He can't let that fight get ahead 3 rounds, because, I mean, like I said, 4 and 5, he's going to be trying to rally. 4 and 5, he's going to be rallying.
Nah,
it's going to be.
I'm trying to box Young. I got Canelo winning. I'm going to invite you back on, too.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Lewis, he wanted to get on, but he actually driving. He said he's going to Dutch, what's good? What's going on? I was telling Sib that out of all the people that come on and watch boxing, like, we always dreamed that I was going to be the guy and you was going to be the guy to telling me to, yo, D, do what you got to do. Because this guy, Jeff Lewis, he's one of these guys that pushed me to be a good fighter, because he's seen the evolution of from when I wasn't a boxer to putting on the gloves to actually getting good. So, and he had a lot of input with boxing. So go ahead, Jeff, what you think about the fight?
Hey, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. I just chimed in, man. Good conversation y'all having. I just put a comment down there to what I was thinking about, one of the keys to a possible Plant victory was just him constantly working behind his jab. If we look at some of the tougher fights that Canelo might have had, he always had trouble with speed, right? Speed and movement.
That's
So
true.
if Plant could be one of these fighters to where he stay consistent behind his jab and not get stationary, because Canelo gonna do his best work when he gets you against the rope or you stand there and want to try to trade with him or cover up. And then it's gonna be lights out for Plant if he get dragged into that kind of fight, 7th, 8th, or 9th round. So we can look back at a fight like Amir Khan before he slipped up, and got caught with that punch that put him to sleep. But before then, we could look at them first 3-4 rounds. He was too fast for Canelo. He was out jabbing him, outlanding him, and staying out of the way. But we all know that Amir Khan was a much smaller fighter than Canelo in that fight. Looking at Plant, he has the arm reach, the height advantage.
National
So it's just like, it just depends how his training camp went, how tough he is, to where as though this is his game plan and stick to it without getting drawn away from, what he need to do. Because we know Canelo's coming full speed ahead and trying to land some vicious body shots, get you against the rope. What was the fighter he just fought last time when he hit with that vicious uppercut and bust his eyes?
Saunders.
That was
Billy Joe Saunders.
Billy Joe Saunders.
That was Saunders, yeah. Yeah, so it's like, how I feel, Marco, man. I'm pulling for Plant in this fight. It's just like, we on this. A lot of these Mexican boxing fans think that Canelo can't be touched. Like, pound for pound, he's the best fighter in the world. And me, it takes one of them nights to where you got a guy that's on his A game, and he follows the game plan through, and he can pull out a win. But Plant has to look very, very special, because he's not going to win on a judge's scorecard, even if we think he won more rounds. Even if we think he run 7 to 5 rounds, he's not going to get the decision. So he has to really outclass Canelo.
He has to truly dominate most of the rounds, which I don't think he will, to get even a draw. And I just don't see that.
No, I don't see that either.
I seen someone on Twitter. Someone on Twitter said that this is Plant is Canelo's best opponent since he fought Triple G. Do y'all agree with that?
I do.
I do too.
I do. Watching some of his fights, I would say this is his.
I think my signal a little janky, y'all.
No, you good, bro. We can hear you.
Let me go out and come back in. My signal a little janky. I can't hear y'all though.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me go out and come back in.
All right. Yeah. So Sib, I mean, man, it's an interesting dynamic, man, in regards to. I mean, it's like one of them things where, I'm nervous for Plant because, and it was like one of them things where I was nervous for Shakur, because of all of the hoopla in the building. I felt like I was in the fight, and I feel like that against watching this Plant fight. I feel like I'm in the fight because, when you want to root for a guy to win so bad, this is what you get. So, I mean, man, I want Plant to win. I wanted the cards to shift because, it's like one of them, what they say, changing of the guard fights. You want this to happen. I just hope that it will be a fight that the judges really look at and say, okay, this kid won. But as we know, I don't know, I think someone told us that you get to pick your judges. So we know that they're going to be favorable for. So that's one of those situations, man, that when you really look at it, you go, oh man, it's going to be a tough sell.
I think
it really is.
I think I say about round 6, maybe 5. That's when we're gonna start. That's gonna start to tell a lot. If you see Plant, because Plant has like Boxiana said, at some point you see Plant start to fade. If we see Plant fade and like drastically fade, it's not gonna be too much long. That's gonna be the beginning of the end right there.
I don't think he's gonna drastically fade. I think you may see a split of it, but I don't think it's gonna be drastically fading. And it depends on if Canelo steps off the gas and takes a break. Let's say like The first couple rounds, Canelo said, "Let me see if I can touch him." Really pushing it. Then we get a different situation.
She just said something else too. How she said he bruises and bleeds it easily. Oh, she said early. That cut from the press conference, that still don't like it's healed all the way. I seen him in an interview today, and you can still see where the damage was done at. So, not saying it will happen, but don't be surprised if that cut is a problem for Plant later on in the fight.
I think that would bring a bigger issue to a smaller situation. That would bring a bigger situation, because if he gets in a fight and let's say he's a banger and Canelo cuts him on that eye, which we know Canelo knows how to turn them punches over now.
Yeah.
And if he smell blood, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real problem.
Oh, there you go. That's not no. I'm trying to get your man's back on.
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
What's up, bro?
How you doing? What's up, sir? How you doing, man? All is great.
What's going on?
All is great. I just tuned in.
What you think this weekend?
I think, honestly, I'm going for Plant. I'm going to be real. Canelo is a phenomenal boxer. He is, but I don't like that guy. I don't know why. I don't know what I don't like about him, but I hope Plant win. I feel like they're counting him out. And based off of what I saw from Canelo's last fight, Billy Joe Saunders was really doing this thing. And I feel like if
he was,
and a lot of people don't want to give him credit for that because everybody like Canelo. But if Plant can come out there, like establish himself and like make Canelo frustrated, I see the fight going differently. In that Saunders fight, he was getting frustrated. He was getting touched up too. But Saunders ain't really had that power behind most of his punches, so Canelo kept coming forward. You feel me? But with Plant, based off of what I see, and I'm no expert or nothing like that, but just based off of my observation, I feel like, with Plant being bigger, he should utilize his sides. And I'm sure he probably have a longer reach, so utilize that jab. Everything comes off from the jab. So I think Plant got a better chance more than people expect. I got him shocking the world.
I like that. I mean, I think for most people, and I think that, a lot of people are like, I always feel like, at one point I didn't buy into Floyd until, I'm going to say I didn't buy into Floyd Mayweather until after Diego Corrales. It took me till Diego Corrales to really buy into who he was, because it was like, he just beat up on Diego Corrales, and not only beat him up, made him cry. When I seen that, I said, this guy's different. He just manhandled one of the top opponents in that class and did some things. So you're not off from what you're saying about Plant. He has all the talent to put it together. I mean, we don't even know. I mean, I don't think he has no power, no knockout power, but he possesses the hand movement, the speed, the elusiveness. He's very slick with his style. And I think that's where the situation is going to make it tough for Canelo. And then you also, this is like, they're giving him a big payday. This ain't one of them regular paydays. They gave him that because they want Canelo to have all these belts. So they gonna give him. They gave him $5 million. What they gave him? $5 or $10 million? They gave him like almost. I think they gave him the most that I've seen in history.
Yeah.
So but I can see them saying if Canelo looks, if he looks lackluster, meaning like he puts on a performance and it's like it's not as great as people say, and it looks almost like a Triple G performance, you best believe the fans are going to want to see Canelo run that fight back.
And that's another thing. I feel like, and I'm glad you brought up Triple G. That's another thing. I think that's why I dislike him. It's one of those fights I thought he lost. One of those fights should not have been a draw. I forgot which one. I don't know if it was the first one or the second one. The first one, I thought he lost that fight. Just from an observational standpoint, I don't compete, but I do put in some work at the Hit Squad gym. Shout out to Coach Sibbie. But I just based on it looking from a fan standpoint, I really thought Canelo didn't win that fight. I thought he lost that first fight.
It was controversial, but you gotta remember, Canelo is the golden child. So you gotta really you gotta really beat the golden child. You get what I'm saying?
Beat him.
Listen, look at how De La Hoya looked against Pernell. Let's go back to that fight. And De La Hoya didn't touch him, but they didn't even give Pernell a draw with the fight. They just gave that right to Oscar when in one round he couldn't even touch the OG with the gloves. And we gotta remember, Whitaker was kind of old at that time.
But he could not be touched. He was dancing.
He could not be touched. Right. And so you do that to this guy. And I see this going the same way. I see Plant going in there and he puts his plan together. And like my man said, stays on the game plan and does what he does. I still think that Canelo, they're gonna give the win to Canelo, which that's just what they're gonna do. I'm sorry to say, but the fans shouldn't be shocked about what they see or what they witness. That's all I'm saying.
So you think Plant's best chance to win is to go out there and like finish him or like decisively beat him like all three?
He has to. Let me tell you something, man. He can't go in there trying to load up on shots, and he got to do what Caleb Plant does. He got to box. He can't go in there thinking. I mean, he could go in there and try to knock him out, but I don't see that happening to Canelo. Canelo got a strong chin. Floyd touched him with some hard punches. So,
but he got that Floyd is a smaller guy than most like, even during fight week, Floyd really doesn't get that big like most people. So it's like for example, I know when he fought Canelo had to be every bit of, if I'm not mistaken, 154 or 160. I don't know what they was fighting at the time. I can't remember, but
52.
Canelo you say 152?
Yeah. It was at catch weight.
But even Floyd was still small. Like even to make weight, even when he trying to get big, he still make weight. So he didn't really like. I understand where you're coming from though. So I do feel where you're coming from. But Plant can't be careless with Canelo. He can't go out there and try to just swing because Canelo's defense is very, very good, and we kind of saw a bit of that at the little press conference. Like it was so quick, but that little moment right there kind of showed me like, wow, he's really fast, but he can't be careless. Canelo can really move his head. He really got an understanding of being in the ring and being able to like move around. I never seen Canelo batting in the corner besides once when he fought Mayweather, when Mayweather had him up against the turnbuckles in the corner. But you never really see Canelo, for one, backing up or really being stuck like in one spot for a certain amount of time.
I mean, listen, we it's gonna be interesting. I mean, we do got a storyline which in the name of my man Briz would say we are in what they say the soap opera era of boxing. You gotta have a storyline. Everything's a storyline or everything.
I said, hey Briz, what you think about Canelo and Plant fight this weekend?
I already told you, man. You already got my opinion, man. Canelo in 3.
Damn. You think 3 for real?
Yeah.
Shit.
Wow.
Plant has no resume, man. Y'all letting the
Oh no, I think Canelo gonna win by stoppage too, just not 3.
I don't think it's gonna be. I mean, if it's a stoppage, it's gonna be because of that cut. That's about it.
I think it'll be a late stoppage.
I think it'll be because of the cut. I don't think anything else.
Hey, you know what I think though?
What's that?
I think because I don't know if people see it like this, like me. I don't like Canelo. Let me get that. Canelo, Charlo,
We know,
I don't like them dudes, right? But check it. When it comes to Canelo, though, one thing I can say, his counter ability is nice.
He's got the best accountability coach since Floyd Mayweather.
Huh?
I think he has the best accountability since Floyd. To me. I ain't saying it's Floyd-esque. I said since Floyd Mayweather. I haven't seen another person be able to respond to a counter quite like him.
Okay, that's possible. But
I don't think that's a bad argument.
Huh? Oh, so what I kind of think to be what changed the fight around, or even fall, that's kind of like careless or over. You know, I know everybody's saying, yeah, he's gonna have to do a lot of punching, this and that. When you in there with a counter punching, just punching, that's gonna get you hit every time.
And not only a puncher, but a hard puncher.
He gotta be perfect. He gotta perfectly place his punches. Yeah, he have to perfectly place them, because if not, Canelo gonna come over top, come under. Canelo gonna do some of everything to him. And one thing about getting hit, don't nobody like getting. If I know that I'm gonna get hit every time I jab, after a while, most likely I'm gonna stop jabbing. And this is something I tell my fighters, especially Slick Nick. If we can stop this man from throwing his jab, all we gotta worry about is a power hand and a hook. Dudes don't throw no uppercuts like yeah, I'm gonna get him uppercut. Nah, it's always the power hand or the hook. So if I can stop you from jabbing early, I got you the rest of the fight. Cause now you scared to throw your jab, cause I'm probably gonna come over top of it like you think. If I get you to stop throwing your power hand, I definitely got you. Now you're gonna be a sitting duck. Now you can be fighting off of me, and I'm gonna pick it up. And Canelo is definitely the type fighter that don't punch. He's gonna be on you. You know, Plant, in my personal opinion, Plant gotta have a strong man, but I do think he'll get stopped. Yeah, I do think round 8, I think he'll get stopped.
What'd you say, Briz?
I said I'm still here.
Okay.
I didn't go nowhere. I'm still here.
Oh, Coach, what round did you say you think he's gonna stop him, man?
I think it's gonna be round 8.
Yeah, I said 10.
I think round 8.
I say
round 5 or 6, round 5 or round 6. I think we'll see a change. I kind of expect Plant to win the first round, and I'm a bet on FanDuel. I'm a bet that Plant win the first round. But I do think the fighter gets stopped round 8, maybe 9. But round 8, I feel strong about it. I think Canelo just be too much for him. 4, 6, 8 weeks. That ain't enough to really game plan when you in there with somebody like Canelo, who has honestly he has been getting to me. I've seen these fights. I can't help you know you can't help who he in there with, but to me,
right.
I see little improvements. You know, so Plant gonna almost be perfect this fight. That's
almost. He gotta be perfect.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion. With them counters, Canelo gonna kill him. Stop punching, he's done. You might well.
But I kind of feel on that end, Coach. I think that I think Plant is going to be a little bit more prepared for those counters. I think Andre Ward, when he went in there, he mentally sound, got him ready for those counters, and I think Caleb already seen where he possibly could be in for with the counter slip from getting clipped in the eye. So he knows what he's up against. It's just now it's about him surviving the shots or whatever, stuff like that. Real quick, we got a few people on. We got a few people that may want to jump, ask any questions. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get what round are we in, Sib?
say one more thing, and then I'll jump off. Let me say one more
32
thing,
minutes.
and I'll jump off. Right? One thing just to remember. Canelo is not the not the traditional type of counter puncher. You know, most counter punchers, they're only going to counter with a headshot.
Yeah.
Your body. I don't know if you ever been hit in the body with a good body shot, but I'd rather get hit in the head than get caught in my body, because what it does, it hurts your breathing. It changes the way you breathe.
Hurts your breathing. It hurts everything. What are you talking about, Coach? It hurts everything.
And if you look up, if Plant look up, he still got 2 minutes in the fight, and you in there with a train, somebody that's not gonna slow down.
Right.
Hey, look, something y'all don't know. A hidden fact that y'all don't know. Coach know. One of Coach's former opponents gonna be fighting on the Canelo undercard.
Who that?
Oh, okay.
Darrell, Anthony.
Oh,
Darrell.
yeah, Darrell. Yeah, I fought Darrell in the amateurs at the Pile.
A lot of people don't know that.